Start here at the RBC Heritage. Start off with some comments what it's like to be back here in Hilton Head.
Yeah, I think always loved being back here in Hilton Head. I think just the vibe of the place, I think, is always a great place to be post Masters, I think for all players, you sort of amp up to the first major of the year so much in your own mind that coming to sort of more of a cool kind of holiday destination vibe for a couple of days is nice just to reset. But clearly big tournament ahead for all of us, a lot of opportunity this week. Again, signature event, a lot on the line. So I think about now everyone starts to then, get focused with the job at hand. But yeah, I really enjoy my time here.
Coming off an exciting week last week, what do you do to kind of turn the page after finishing runner-up at the Masters?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely been one to process a little bit. It was a lot. There was a lot going on Sunday. It was obviously a huge opportunity for me at the very end. But to give myself that opportunity, I played some incredible golf, and it was one of the most fun days I've ever had on a golf course. I felt like mindset-wise at the start of the day, would said probably starting 7 back. Wasn't really thinking about winning the tournament. Was thinking about what it means to play at Augusta on a Sunday, and it's a very special day no matter what. And I feel like I just got into my round quite nicely from the beginning, but then around Amen Corner, which is probably the most special stretch of golf that there is, just went to this different place, and things just really started to flow for me, and I started to believe that we were onto something pretty big. And then didn't really track Rory's round hole by hole, but then definitely got the sense on 16 that I was right in it and had an opportunity to sort of put some heat on it and to potentially win. So great to kind of keep making birdies towards the end of my round. Clearly a couple mistakes here and there crept in, but other than that it was a pretty flawless day.
Perfect. We'll go ahead and open up with questions. We'll start off with Ron.
Justin, guessing you drove down here Monday. What was that like, or what was Monday like? Reflective, balance, and sort of excitement about how you played and with what got away, or what was it like?
Yeah, mixed emotions for sure. And that's probably a lot of outpouring from people with a lot of positive comments, coming at me. So I think trying to absorb that, trying to absorb the week, but at the same time looking at my phone and just wishing there was a different message there. A lot of sort of heartfelt commiserations and things like that. But clearly, having been in that situation before as well, and then again even more this time, could really sense what it would be like to win it. And felt like I was right there on the edge of winning it, obviously. So a little bit of, certainly don't feel down in any way, shape or form, just because of the performance I was able to put in and how I was able to feel putting in that performance. But just sort of, I don't know what the right word is, tormented probably by the thought of what might have been, So obviously just bouncing back and forth with those two emotions. So, but certainly I think no regrets, right? You can lose a golf tournament and there's a million of things that you think, I should have done this differently. There's not really much I can look back and go, should have done that differently on the day. So it's more just like wish it had added up to a different result rather than wish I'd have done things differently.
Doug?
Just on that, Justin, having been through this before. Sorry, stepped away. Thanks. Having been through this before, and frankly losing to a friend, as you look back on 17, how did it process the rest of the year? Did it linger? Were you able to put it away ever, or did it stick with you?
Yeah, good question. I would say it lingered for a month, 2017, but I think it also spurred me on, if I look back historically, to play my best golf. 2017 August-ish through to the end of 18 is probably the most consistently good golf that I've ever played, and obviously culminated in me getting to world number one and things like that. So certainly took that loss and my career went forward. So obviously I was a little bit more in the prime of my career around that time, or you could argue more prime. But I don't see any reason why that can't be the same this time around. I'm working well, I'm working hard, I'm feeling good about my game. I'm feeling like I've been saying all year that my good is good. I just got to kind of make sure that I'm playing consistently well enough to give myself those opportunities, because obviously majors come around fairly rarely, only 4 times a year, so you do need a level of consistency in your game to continue to create those opportunities to win. But yeah, I mean, the last 2 majors I've been right there and been beaten by the top players in the world at the peak of their game. So, but on both occasions I felt like I've stepped up, I've hit the shots, I've played well, I felt great, and I'm doing the right things to win. So I just got to keep the level high enough to keep creating those opportunities.
We have Alex in the very back.
Justin, Rory said in his press conference on Sunday after he won that he was glad to see 2 Europeans in the playoff, obviously alluding to the Ryder Cup. Outside of the money that you won last week and whatever else was involved, you moved up considerably both in Ryder Cup and in world rankings. Can you just talk about, even though it's still early, can you just talk about the importance of seeing European names on top of those, top of these leaderboards lately, and how much that might mean when you get to September and Bethpage?
Yeah, obviously it's been noticed this year amongst us, the Europeans, that we're playing well. There's a lot of guys really contending for tournaments. There's a lot of guys playing some good golf, and that's great to see. It's great to see that the boys are really adapting to the PGA Tour, even some of the newer guys, and beginning to sort of week in, week out put up good performances. Obviously, from a winning point of view, yeah, Rory's obviously had a great start to the year. His name's been up there a lot. Sepp Straka winning, things like that. Like, it's been good to see, but I don't know if it matters right now. Ryder Cup is a long way away. I think there's good energy around our team and what we're sort of trying to gear up for. By no means do we sort of underestimate the task at hand. I think going to New York, we all know what a challenge that's going to be, and I think we all know that it's going to have to be a fully firing European team to have a chance there. So far so good, though, for sure. Like, there's definitely good form amongst the boys, but you can only hope that that continues into the months that matter right before the Ryder Cup. But I think on track. I think if I was Luke Donald right now, I'd be looking at my team going, okay, the boys are, everything's according to plan at this present moment in time.
Moving over to the left side, we have Paul.
Hey, Justin. Wondering, before you won the U.S. Open in 2013, you had 6 years of solid results, and just wondering if you had put any mental burden on yourself beforehand to kind of, when is it going to be my time? Am I going to do this? And if that changed after you won?
Yeah, I think there was definitely a sort of a shift in, there was a nice progression in my career around that time. I think it was 2010 I won on the PGA Tour, 2011 I won a playoff event, 2012 I won a World Golf Championship event. So I kind of told myself, or sold myself on that story, that next stop, major championship. That's kind of the way it was going. It was quite a linear progression from that point of view. And then 2013 came along, and fortunate enough to knock off Merion. But I kind of knew that there's sort of the other side narrative I had with myself was, let's call it age 30 to 40, 10 years, I was going to play 40 major championships, and I was going to create opportunities in that 40. So when my first opportunity came around, don't strangle it. Like I even said that last week, like, when you have the opportunity to win in these events that really can move the needle on your career, you got to just also let it happen. So I think that's what I did a great job of at Merion. I kind of was very process driven all week, because I knew that I was going to have other opportunities in the future as well. So obviously, yeah, I think since then I've had it's racking up too many seconds than I care to think about now, but I'm still creating opportunities. You can't skip throughout your career without a little heartache here and there. But I've had the luck go my way on occasion as well, and hope that if I can keep doing what I'm doing, get that little bit of luck to get across the line again.
And just to follow on that, sometimes when we see someone break through with a first major, mentally it frees them up. They feel like they can be more themselves publicly. They can kind of just live in it a little bit more. Did that happen at all for you?
I mean, I think so. I was very grateful to have won a major, because I also realized how many great players had not won major championships, So when I had that box checked, I was like, okay, great, we can now use this. That's definitely the mindset. It's like you can use this to free yourself up and hopefully be the catalyst to winning more and winning them more easily, once that monkey's off the back. So, yeah, even in my situation now, I take that loss pretty badly. Yesterday is tough, but had I not won a major, that would have been even more brutal, no doubt about it. So, yes, it is a great thing to have already achieved, and it's a good thing in every other major championship you play, yeah, 100%. But you do look at the majors each individually, as Rory did. The Masters was elusive, even though he was 5-time major champion, or four. That was the one that mattered, But listen, I was a stone's throw away from winning the Open, winning the Masters. I'd have been going for a Grand Slam at the PGA. It's like that. It can be that close, and I've got to believe that. And I'm close to kind of some seriously good stuff. Yeah.
And we're going to go back to Doug.
What are you thinking about this week? How do you think you're going to perform? I was just looking back at 17. I think you're off for a month after that last Masters. Are you happy to be here? That's a terrible question, sorry.
A month off. Yeah, probably. No, I'm happy to be here, to be honest with you. Yeah, I am, and I'm very motivated just generally this year. And I would say that that's been the difference this year. I'm creating these better opportunities, these better weeks, because I feel like I'm doing the work away from golf tournaments as well. There's just a bit more energy and motivation and belief in what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve. So, yeah, of course, I'm looking forward to going home next week for a 2-week reset. I think that's important, especially living in England. I feel like those are very key weeks for me to make sure I'm kind of maintaining my energy and things like that to come back and compete. But yeah, all in all, I'm not yearning for time off or anything like that. I'm quite focused on the next objectives. Yeah.
And you may have addressed this a little bit last week, but why do you have energy? Why are you doing this at age 43 with a pretty sizable list of accomplishments already? What keeps you going at this stage?
Just the belief that I still can have these special moments in the game is what I'm calling them. I think that little things like holding the putt on the Friday at the Ryder Cup with all the team around me, that's a moment I'll remember. Like, it's a special moment. Even the Open Championship was special, walking down 18, being right in it, holding the putt at Augusta on 18 on Sunday and seeing the crowd stand up, and those are special moments. I want it to be accompanied with the requisite trophy as well, don't get me wrong, but the reason I'm playing is to sort of feel those moments that really matter in your career and in your life. And I believe that the point is, the reason I'm working hard enough to do it is because I still have that belief that it's possible. And I think that's why these weeks are important for me still, is that it's just reaffirming that it's still possible.
Adam?
Justin, you talked a little bit about the moment of the hug you had with Rory, but were you able to see or talk to your wife afterward about the hug that she had with Rory? Because that looked like a pretty cool moment too.
No, not really. The mystery woman. There was some article somewhere like, who's the mystery woman that was hugging Rory? It turned out to be Kate. I was like, that's pretty funny. Listen, I think in the moment you realize what it means to everybody involved. You realize what it means to other families, what they must be feeling, and you're a part of the moment, you're a part of the story, you're a part of all of the energy that's going on in that moment. So I think that's what happens. You embrace that connection that you have with everybody and all that's going on in the moment. So no, I don't know what she said to him. I think no, I don't think that was discussion worthy or anything, to be honest. But
have you ever had a hug like that in golf with a competitor?
I got a great hug from Tommy Fleetwood when I walked off 18 on Sunday. Meant a lot. It's not always about the result, it's about how someone can make you feel or what they say and stuff like that. So but I don't know. I can't think of it, to be honest. But sometimes your mind's spinning a million miles an hour in those situations, and often it's hard to take in what someone might say to you in that moment anyway, I believe.
Perfect. We have a special guest here. We have men's golf team from
Yeah.
Charleston. We're going to take one question here.
I'd like to ask you what you think your biggest inspiration would be as a golf player.
What's my biggest inspiration?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think, well, I think my dad early in my career was a big inspiration for me. I think he kind of laid out, well, he taught me the game, and I think sort of very subtly kind of like guided me down a little path where I began to realize what I was capable of or what it might look like to be a pro. And I'd always think that I felt like I had a talent to play the game, but that talent was always like, it's a double-edged sword. Like, it's great to have a talent for something, but I also felt like it was a burden to have it as well. But I never wanted to see it as a burden. So I guess my inspiration, to answer your question, has always been to sort of maximize the potential that I've had in my game and the potential that my dad saw in me. So not waste it, squander it, not sort of, yeah, put in the requisite work, put in the work that's required to make talent worth it, or to make your ability shine through. So I guess that's been my inspiration. It's just like getting the most out of yourself.
Perfect. That's all the questions we have. Justin, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
All right. Ball out. Ball out.